back, tubers. Today I thought I'd give you a quick rundown on how I spot weld this little tiny 32, I think it's nickel plated copper, to the nickel strip of this battery. So basically I'm using the K-weld, the K-cap and the K-supply along with the HP power supply. As you can see there, the results I'm getting spot welding it is quite consistent. You can just make out the two little dots on each one where the spot weld goes on. See if I can get that into focus. Here we go. So you can see they're spot welded quite well. And if you take a quick look at this photo, you can see it's flattened down a little bit there at the end, which shows that it's actually spot welded quite well to the nickel strip there. So let me run you through the settings that we use for the K-weld to spot weld this up. We'll turn this over. We've already done this whole side. Nice and careful. Rightio. For the K-weld, I don't use the foot pedal, so I put it into auto mode. So we're in auto. And then when I started off at like 0.5 of a joule to start spot welding and testing. And I just did one on each one until I come up to I got to about 6. And then I found I was starting to blow through at about 6 joules, so I backed it back off to 4 joules, and it seemed to be that sweet spot between a great looking weld and a strong weld, and something that just wasn't, because when you flatten it out, it actually makes a bit of a weak spot there. So it was the strongest weld that I could do at 4 joules. Now, it's important to know if you're using a battery instead of the K-cap or a different type of supply, your power settings are going to be slightly different. So test everything you do before you actually do it. Don't trust my settings. This is just what worked well for me. All right, let's run through a few spot welds here and show you the results. Now I found the best way to do this is to simply line it up on one side, hold it down, and once it's held down you can actually give it a tug and make sure it's actually held down properly, and then you can drop a spot weld onto it. Done. Nice and strong. And do the second one. Now what I did was here, I actually pushed that down a little bit, so we got a bit of slack in the line. We don't want to have it too taut. Hold that side down. Spot weld it up. Nice and strong. Some precautions to keep in mind is I'm using this little device here to actually hold my wire up and out of the way, so we don't potentially get any shorts from here to here. I'm not going to say that I've done that, but I've done it a few times. Also, you've got to watch the stray wire from going into the K supply or even the K cap, and it would short it out and cause some problems there, so just be mindful of that. Once you get your rhythm up, it's nice and quick. It doesn't take very long at all to knock out some quick clean welds without any solder fumes. Probably some bad camera angles though. Well, there we go. In real time, we've got about 8 minutes. That's pretty much all the cells spot welded up. We've just got to go through and wait for a new soldering iron so I can solder those to the bus bars. And it's a much better and much quicker result than the old way. And the old way was just tinning it up with some solder and soldering on there. I'm not sure if you can see that. There we go. And then soldering it across. So you'd have to go through and tin every one and then come back a second time and then actually remelt the solder again and put the fuse on there. So that was a little bit slow and efficient. I think this is fast, cool, and I just I'm just surprised at this K-Weld. It just keeps surprising me with what it's capable of doing. Anyway, tubers, that was a quick one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.